What's up everybody, Sean here and thank you for watching. Today we'll be talking about some of the common car myths and the truth behind them, so stick around. At number 1, we have higher octane fuel is better for your car as it produces more power. Now when we talk about octane rating, we are usually referring to RON 92 versus RON 95 versus RON 98. This myth is in fact not true as octane rating does not inherently produce more power. It is simply a fuel's resistance to combustion and nothing more. So what happens is that engines are designed with something called a compression ratio. This is basically how much the pistons compress the air and fuel mixture that is fed into it. The higher the compression ratio, the higher the pressure that is generated, and hence the more easily fuel can be prematurely ignited, and that is something that we do not want as it will cause knocking and it can damage the engine. High performance engines tend to have higher compression ratios, which inevitably requires a higher octane fuel in order to function properly. By contrast, an engine with a lower compression ratio will run perfectly fine on a lower octane rating, and using a more expensive high octane fuel isn't going to make any difference to how it runs. Our second myth is that older cars were built more robust like tanks and are safer than newer cars which always seem to crumble upon impact. Now this is a very common misconception that needs to be dispelled. So what happens in an accident is that a large amount of force and energy is being directed to the car. Since energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it has to go somewhere. A car that is so stiffly built like a tank and then unable to deform in an impact actually means that it is unable to absorb any of this energy. So where does all this energy go? Unfortunately, this energy goes directly to the driver and the passengers. Modern cars are designed to crash at certain key areas in order to absorb as much energy as possible away from the driver and the passengers. The main structures surrounding the driver and the passengers are however designed to stay intact in an accident in order to protect them. Because of these improvements in design and technology, modern cars are far safer than the older cars which seemingly appear sturdier but are in fact not as safe. At number 3, we have manual transmissions are more fuel efficient than automatic transmissions. Now this did used to be true in the past, but that is in fact no longer the case. When automatic transmissions were first introduced, while they were more convenient, they were in fact less fuel efficient as there were a lot of energy losses throughout the system. This resulted in the general knowledge and acceptance that automatic transmissions are less fuel efficient. Fast forward several decades, and automatic transmissions have made huge strides in efficiency and technology, and today offer far wider gear ranges than your conventional manual transmission. These advancements in efficiency today have exceeded that of manual transmissions, thus rendering this myth not true anymore. Our fourth myth says that we need to idle our car for a while in order to warm up the engine before driving off. Now this used to be true several decades ago, but with the improvements in technology in terms of engines and lubricants, this is no longer the case. This advice also typically applied to cars in winter conditions, which are not so relevant to us in Singapore. Modern cars these days are perfectly fine moving off gently immediately after they have been started, and is in fact a better way of warming up the engine than to let it sit there idle. Just take note that you should still not try to pull revs immediately after starting the engine and only after your engine has been warmed up, especially on higher performance engines. And for number 5, we have filling up your petrol tank early in the morning when the air is cooler will give you more bang for your buck. The idea here is that cooler fuel is denser, hence you will get more density per liter pumped. Now the science behind this is not wrong. However, the problem is that fuel is typically stored deep enough underground in order to have minimal fluctuations in temperature. This means that no matter what the ambient temperature of your surrounding is, the fuel coming out of the pump will pretty much be the same temperature regardless, and hence there is virtually no benefit. So stay in bed and get your sleep. because this does not work. And so those are some of the common car myths explained. If you have any other myths that you would like me to go through, please leave them in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.